I want to start by welcoming you to the campus of Kutztown University for Inauguration Day. I'm Matt Santos, Director of University Relations at KU. I'm honored to serve as the moderator for this morning's program. We are gathered here today to honor Guido Pichini, Chair of the Pennsylvania State System of Higher Education, Board of Governors, and member of the Kutztown University Council of Trustees. Later this morning, at the inauguration ceremony, Kutztown University will honor Mr. Pichini by awarding him with an honorary doctorate degree. We're going to have breakfast in a moment, and that will be followed by a short spoken program. But first, I'd like to welcome our special guest who will provide the invocation. Please welcome the Most Reverend John O'Barris, 4th Bishop of Allentown.
God, our Creator, we thank you for this beautiful day here at Kutztown University, and we thank you for the mission of education and character formation of Kutztown University. We ask your blessings today on our administration, our staff, our students, all those who serve the mission of the university. In a special way, we ask your blessings upon President Kenneth Hawkinson and upon Guido Pichini and his wife Susan on this very special day as they are honored, and we ask for special graces to understand the best ways that we can support President Hawkinson in his leadership here at the university. We ask you to bless our conversations this morning and this food. Amen.
In addition to today's inauguration, many of you know that Kutztown University is celebrating its sesquicentennial this academic year. Mr. Pichini and his wife Susan are serving as honorary chairs of our celebration, and we are in the process now of planning the grand finale for Founders Week, September 9th through 15th. I want to remind you, if you have a chance today, we encourage you to visit the sesquicentennial history display, which is located in the concourse just inside the main entrance of Old Main. So if you go through the blue room and out to the right, you'll see a great display of Kutztown's history. Mr. Pichini's involvement with the sesquicentennial is just one of many ways he has given back to Kutztown University since his graduation in 1974. You will learn about many of Mr. Pichini's accomplishments today, including being appointed the first ever state system graduate to serve as the chair of the Pennsylvania State System of Higher Education Board of Governors. So without further ado, let me introduce our first speaker. It's a big day for him today. Also, he will be inaugurated as the 12th president of Kutztown University a little bit later on. Please welcome Dr. Kenneth S. Hawkinson.
Thanks, Matt. Good morning to you all, and thanks for attending this very, very special event. I want to acknowledge Bishop Barris. It's so nice to see you again. And the first time I met you was right here in this room, and there were several hundred students that were joining us that wonderful evening. And Chancellor Brogan, thanks for coming in for this special event and the special event that happens after this one. And I'm very honored that President McFarland and President Ceballos is here with us today. Thank you for coming back and visiting our campus again. And of course, it's just such an honor to have Guido and Sue Pichini and their family here today. Now, it's said if you want an accounting of your worth, count your friends. And I can see by the turnout for Guido's honorary doctorate breakfast that Guido is indeed a very wealthy man. But it's no surprise. He is one of the kindest, most thoughtful, and most generous men that I have ever met. His life has touched so many other lives, and the world is a better place as a result. I had the honorary doctorate in mind during my first extended conversation with Guido, when I learned of his lifelong commitment to Kutztown University and to the state system as a whole. He received the support of the Honorary Doctorate Committee and Council of Trustees, certainly because of his accomplishments. But I wanted this event to occur as my first act as president, not just because of his accomplishments, but because of who Guido Pichini is, because of his story, because of his character. We are now, as you know, in our sesquicentennial or 150th year, and it is his story, his character, along with his accomplishments that make him the ideal representative of our nearly 72,000 students who have earned their degree from Kutztown University. I will speak in a moment of a few of his accomplishments, and there will be a long list mentioned at the ceremony and in the program. But what is most notable about Guido is what brought about his very successful career and made him into the special human being that he is. Booker T. Robinson said that success is to be measured not so much by the position that one has reached in life as by the obstacles he has overcome while trying to succeed. As the grandson of immigrants, there were many obstacles to overcome. His grandparents immigrated from Italy. His grandfather was a steel worker and began his life in the U.S. with his family, living in a 10-by-10 shack on company property. A 55-gallon drum provided the heat from coal he picked up on the company property. Guido's father was a fashion knitter and a roofer for nearly 50 years. Like his grandparents, his parents worked hard, and it was a struggle to make ends meet. In school, Guido and his sister and brother were teased for eating pig ear sandwiches and dandelion sandwiches collected from a nearby field. He grew up in a working-class family, but dreamed of the opportunities that college might provide. As a child, he aspired to be a professional tennis player. He was also a fine musician and was able to go to Kutztown University on a tennis scholarship. He earned money by serving as a tennis pro at area country clubs throughout high school and college, and considered a future as a tennis coach. As it turned out, after college, he became a substitute teacher by day, and having had an internship in law enforcement while a student, a part-time policeman at night. He eventually became a full-time police officer, a job he held for 10 years. He then had the opportunity to become director of the security division of Manpower, later Security Guards Incorporated, moved on to vice president, and then in 1992 became president of the company. The rest is history. We are truly pleased to recognize the many efforts of Guido Pichini through the presentation of an honorary doctorate, said Jack Wabi, chair of the Kutztown University Council of Trustees. His years of generous service to the state system and Kutztown University are unparalleled, and we are truly proud to call him an alum. We are forever grateful for his time, commitment, and unwavering dedication. Guido is the epitome of the successful KU graduate. A first-generation college student, he came to college hungry to change himself and the world around him. He had grit. He has honored us through his success in business, government, service to his community, and philanthropy. He and his wife Susan have given tirelessly of their time and effort. On a personal note, he has been a valuable advisor, mentor, and friend. Anne-Marie and I have so enjoyed the time we have spent with Guido and Susan, and I feel truly blessed to have had both of them here for us in this very hectic first year. And so on behalf of Kutztown University and our 72,000 alumni, let me extend congratulations to Guido Pichini for this recognition of all he has done for Kutztown University and the state system. And it's now my distinct honor to introduce the chancellor of our system. Frank T. Brogan was named chancellor of the state system in October of 2013. The state system operates 14 comprehensive universities with a combined enrollment of 112,000 students. He previously served as chancellor of the State University System of Florida, was president of Florida Atlantic University, and was twice elected lieutenant governor of the state of Florida. A lifelong educator, Chancellor Brogan began his academic career as a fifth-grade teacher. He then served as a superintendent for 6 years. He was elected Florida's Commissioner of Education in 1995. A native of Ohio, Chancellor Brogan was the first member of his family to attend college, a common theme today. He earned a bachelor's degree in education from the University of Cincinnati and a master's degree in education from Florida Atlantic University. He and his wife Courtney have a son, Colby John. It's my honor now to introduce Chancellor Brogan to this podium.
It's clearly the resume of a man who has trouble holding on to a job. First of all, thank you, Dr. Hawkinson and Anne Marie, for hosting this morning's celebration. This is a celebration as a part of celebrations. I thanked some of the staff members for having all of this on a Friday. It's not often I get to end a week on a really high note. And in this particular case, I'm going to stay here all day and savor these moments. I also want to thank the Council of Trustees of Kutztown University, the administration, the wonderful faculty of Kutztown, the great staff here, the student body. Today really is a day not only to celebrate people like Guido Pichini, Dr. Ken Hawkinson, but also all of Kutztown University. As I made my way from Highway 78 down that beautiful winding road that abuts that gorgeous stream, and you go down and down, you're always sure that you're going to come out in a small village full of tiny people, and that somehow Shirley Temple will be amongst them. You're not far wrong, because when you emerge in Kutztown, what a glorious location, what a beautiful community, and I think clearly this university is a gem in the crown of this lovely community at the same time. We are here today, start off, to celebrate a man and his career. You just heard about that glorious career as it continues full throat. The opportunity to work side by side over the last 3 years with Guido Pichini and Sue Pichini has not only been a professional joy, but a personal joy at the same time, because Guido Pichini not only serves as the chair of the Board of Governors, but also over that 3 years has become a dear friend of mine and my family. You heard Dr. Hawkinson mention our son, Colby John, who is now 11 years old and solidly ensconced in 4th grade. And I learn a great deal of life's lessons from my son, Colby John. I am fond of saying, I know when I say I have an 11-year-old, typically half of the room immediately goes, "Oh, isn't adoption a wonderful thing?" Well, yes, Bishop, it is, but no, he's really my son. And it really has, as a lifetime educator, given me the opportunity for the first time to see life and even profession through a different set of eyes. And he has taught me probably more of life's lessons than I have taught him in his brief 11-year history on this earth. The bishop and I were playing a bit of a tug of war over the weather today. I let him know first off that Guido charged me with the weather today, and I was gloating about obviously the wonderful job that I had done with that. The bishop reminded me that he personally had called on a higher authority to see after the weather, and therefore I will defer, Bishop, to that higher authority, and we're delighted to see you all here this morning at the same time. I know how much it means to Guido and Sue to have you with us today. Just very briefly, if we had to pay Guido Pichini a salary by hour to do what he does as the chairman of the Board of Governors of the Pennsylvania State System of Higher Education, we would go broke. Trying to keep up with Guido Pichini is virtually impossible. He is everywhere and seemingly all at the same time. We have 14 universities serving over 100,000 students, literally scattered all over the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, from Erie to East Stroudsburg, from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh. And he manages to navigate this state, those universities, not only that, but also piling on meeting after meeting with committees and then the full board agendas that he has to traverse in order to help the rest of the board oversee this wonderful state system of higher education. And he does it in a remarkably efficient but remarkably effective way. It is impossible not to respect immensely Guido Pichini for the work that he does, and still somehow manages to sit on more boards and commissions and task force dedicated to other propositions. It is seemingly impossible, and yet he does it all. And never do you hear ever anyone suggest that they are getting short shrift from Guido because he does too much. That's the hallmark of dedication. That's the hallmark of commitment that this man brings, not just to our state system, but to the public service that he provides to all of us in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So not only for the testimony that he pays to his own dear and prized university of graduation choice, Kutztown, but for the work he has done professionally in his own right, and the work that he continues to do through public service in an immensely successful way. It is right and fitting that the university has chosen to pay tribute to him in such a profound way. And having been a university president, I can tell you that for the individual person, there probably is no greater tribute that you can pay to someone than to provide them with an honorary doctoral degree. It is a most profound and today a most appropriate tribute to a man's life and his continued dedication. So ladies and gentlemen, it gives me now the tremendous honor to invite to this podium on a day of all days where we celebrate him this morning, him again this afternoon, and also managed to work in a little time to celebrate the new president of Kutztown University and his family. This is a great day during a most wonderful year in the history of Kutztown University, a university who I believe still has not seen its best days, which are yet to come. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in paying tribute to a man who needs no introduction in this room and probably in most places in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Guido Pichini. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Bishop Byers, it's an honor to have you on campus and to attend the ceremony. I really appreciate that. Dr. Hawkinson, I can't say enough about you. I was flabbergasted when you brought the idea of me having the possibility of getting an honorary doctorate. As you know, my comments were, why me? Because there are so many people in this room who do so much for not only Kutztown University, but for the state system and our students. But you also said that you were going to do it at your date of inauguration, which kind of floored me, because normally these are done at commencement ceremonies. And his comment was, well, I want to tie your life into the sesquicentennial celebration and the celebration of a new president, which is really very nice of you, and I thank you and Anne-Marie. And I look forward to a long relationship here at Kutztown University with both of you in leadership positions. I would like to take special note. I think it's just a wonderful honor to have two of the former presidents and their wives here on campus. It's very rare that occurs. It certainly shows their dedication to not only Kutztown University, but their respect for Dr. Hawkinson in taking on the new position. I would like to talk a little bit about some of the people in the room and how they've influenced my life. Most of my comments are going to be across the street, so I'm going to keep them very short because if anybody knows Guido, they know that I'm on the stage hitting the president saying they're talking too long. So I'll try to keep my comments very, very short. But I have my brother with me who came in from Texas, Pete, and I have my sister Michaelina and her husband Chris. And of course I have the love of my life, Sue, who puts up with me all the time, and well, sometimes. But everywhere you see Guido, you basically see Sue. So really this should be a shared honorary doctorate because, everywhere I am, she is too. Father Renziger and the bishop, I'm just awed that both of you are here, and everybody knows that Guido in life have two passions, and most of the people here will know that I get up on soapboxes every now and then and go off, and everybody just rolls their eyes, and but when I talk about religion, and I do that really often, and I have Father Yalinski, who is with us today, and John Seitzinger, and his wife Suzanne, and over the years, they've been great support to me. We've had tons of conversations, which Father Renzinger and I had last week, again over lunch, but we discuss everything and anything, and I just appreciate their guidance in life. Father Yalinski should have 5 honorary doctorates because I don't understand a thing he says because he uses too big of words. And half the time I have to stop him and I say, "Excuse me, could you put that in English so I can understand in simple words what you just said?" But thank you very much for your support and guidance over the years. Some people also know that I get on a bandwagon when it comes to my beliefs about the country and where the country is and what built the country. And of course, with me, as mentioned, my family were immigrants. We mentioned one half of the family, which were Italian. We didn't mention the other half of the family. My mother was Polish, and her parents came from Poland. So I got to watch what I tell the president over breakfast when I talk about pickled pig's ear sandwiches. But on the other hand, I had the best of both worlds because on Christmas Eve, I would go through the Feast of the Seven Fishes at my house with my family, and then I would get in the car and I'd drive across town, and I'd have the Polish Vigilia at my Polish side of the family with the pierogies and all the other mixings. And of course, we'd all go to midnight mass, and I stank so badly of onions and garlic between the two houses, and the only thing that saved me was the fact that everybody else in church smelled the same way. I would also like to thank, I have my godson, who's with me with his wife Tanya, Sebastian Napoli. I have my godmother and my cousin, Sandra Gabrielli, and I have my aunt and my Aunt Marie Lojak, and I have my 2 cousins also, Debbie Hummel and Marie Kime and her husband Rick with us. And I thank you for taking out of your time out of your schedule to be here and celebrate this with me. I also have a special friend, and that is my tennis coach from high school. That's right, high school. And he's here with us today, and Leon Schultz, and I certainly thank you for taking time and being here. We'll talk a little bit more about a lot of these people over across the street when the ceremony takes place. From the elected official side, I'm happy to be a friend and a longtime friend of the new mayor of Reading, Wally Scott, who went to school with me, high school, and we also went to district justice school together. We graduated from district justice school as classmates. And Mark Scott and Michelle Kircher, who I've been friends with for probably 20-some years. And we get along so well because of the fact that we both have 6 sense of humor. And we laugh at each other's humor. So thank you for being here. And retired President Judge Stallone, wife Orpha, Judge Stallone has sworn me into every position I've ever had in my life except for the last one, which I had to do very quickly. But when I was mayor, the multiple times, 4 times I was mayor, he swore me in, and trusteeships and board of governors. And he, at one time my mother couldn't make it, he came to the house and swore me in my living room. So our relationship goes back a long, long way, and it's special for you to be here, and thank you very much for taking the time to be here. Chancellor, I say this every time I can, and I will keep on saying it. The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is very fortunate to have Frank Brogan as our chancellor. He brings so much to the table. He's an incredible guy, highly intelligent, well-spoken, as you know. Certainly came up and did that presentation without a note, as he normally does. And actually, the only thing we talked to him about is that he talks too long. So every now and then I have to hit him and say, enough, at the board meeting. Paul Dugalecki is here, and Paul was a former member of the Board of Governors. And again, government ought to work the way some of my relationships work. Paul Dugalecki politically is over here, and I'm over here. And we are the best of friends and have stayed in touch with each other for a long time and look forward to a continuing relationship over the years. But that's the way we all ought to work. We ought to agree to disagree to get things done. My belief in the government is very conservative, and I have Martin Gillespie here, who's the Major Gifts Director for the Heritage Foundation. And as some of you know, Sue and I sponsor the Guido and Susan Pichini internship down at the Heritage Foundation in Washington. And it's just wonderful to have kids from colleges from around the country go down and spend time interacting with some of the most intelligent people in the country. And it's just a great organization. And thank you for taking the time for being here. When you talk about the schedules that I go to, Audrey Guswhite is the executive secretary administrator of it at the state system. No one knows that, but she really runs the system. And I have Linda Schucker from our office. And between Linda and Audrey and Sue, putting all the three schedules together and trying to schedule appointments, Linda just puts all the files in chronological order and labels them where I'm supposed to be at what time I'm supposed to be here, and just hands them to me as I'm going out the door. And also says, do you have your phone? As I go out the door. I'm also happy to have Bill Sutton, who's a retired Vice President of Advancement here at Kutztown. And I'll say this again across the street, but it was Bill and Dr. McFarland and a gentleman who's passed on by the name of Sam Smith, who was actively involved in the foundation here, who actually got me back on campus and got me involved, because I, like all the other students who graduate from college, want to get off campus as fast as they can, get their degree, and go out into the world. But it was the three of them who brought me back to Kutztown University to get re-involved at the university. So, Bill, I'm glad you could come back, and thank you for everything you do. I do have some people from my office and business associates that are clients but friends, and Mark McNash from the Reading Health System, and Oscar Rivera, who is director of security over at Reading Hospital, and Oscar is a representative of everything that education stands for. Oscar is a retired deputy commissioner of state police, came up the hard way, and has been very successful. And actually, we've brought him into the loop to have some mentorships with some of the students here at Kutztown University. So thank you for being with us. Bill Mayoski, who was a retired chief of police here for 32 years, is vice president of Kutztown University. I mean, of Security Guards Incorporated, I'm sorry. And he's been a long time, a great friend and employee at our office. And Barry Warbach, who everybody knows is the head of crime alert Berks, which is headquartered at our office in Wyomissing, and a great friend and mentor also. So to all of you, and I want to say a big thank you to all the trustees who are here today, and trustees, President Hawkinson, the University Senate, and faculty who made this honorary degree possible for me. I want to say thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming out today. As I said to the president, I'm the opening act, he's the main act, and I look forward to his inauguration this afternoon. So thank you very much.